ought to make your blood boil. That's a terrible thing to say, but what does it mean? It means that your blood pressure goes up and you get upset. You listen to this debate preparation argument. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to take Trump away from the stature. They decided that he looks authoritative standing up there at 6'3" with Kamala Harris over there. Like the two of them standing together, Trump looked more authoritative. So they're trying to make him sit down at a table. And then they want to make it so that Kamala can have her notes all around her. And then they want to make it so she can interrupt him and jab at him so that if he pushes back, he looks like he's bullying the woman. It's maddening what they're going to be trying to do to set this debate up. But I'll tell you, I don't want to go there right now. That's what I'm going to cover in a minute. But I was watching Kiyosaki. I don't know if you've ever seen Robert Kiyosaki. I love him. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he's laughing. He always holds up this paper dollar. And he goes, you know what this is? Worthless. Paper. He said, and then he has a little piece of gold, a little piece of silver, a little Bitcoin. He says, this is what you need to do with your money. He said, you need to put it in. He said, a millionaire is going to be made with this next economic collapse. I like hearing guys like him because he's telling you something traumatic, but he's happy. I'm thinking, I got to find out what he knows. He says, if you have gold, if you have silver, if you're smartly in Bitcoin and you're looking at it strategically, not as a speculator, but as a long-term investor, if you understand how to put money in an oil well or into mining and into certain things, he said, then it's inevitable. What's going to happen is a breakdown, but you just don't want to have your money tied up in paper. Folks, I want you to go to lancewallnau.com/gold. Kiyosaki is right. You need to get the 21-page report and read it real fast on what's happening to the paper dollar, what the left is doing, and what I can almost guarantee is going to happen if this next election cycle doesn't have a divine intervention. LanceWallnau.com/gold is going to show you what you can do to have some peace of mind. You're going to get a hold of information that's going to show you how to begin to put aside certain amounts of your money to be able to have that one thing. The silver is mine, the gold is mine. That's what comes out of the Bible. In a time of shaking, this is an unshakable asset. And I want you to look at it, study it, and be prepared because you read that report, you take action, and you're going to have peace of mind. LanceWallnau.com/gold. Remember, I told you here what to do. All right, let's get into the show. I'm happy to be here. Are you happy to be here? You know, God put you on planet Earth at this point in time. Don't be complaining about what's going on the earth. You're built for this. You're built with an internal capacity to be able to pierce through the darkest day and bring life and light to other people. And I really do believe that this is a great time for us to learn how to go into the gymnasium and put on the mantle that overcomes the world. Mercedes Sparks is over here to my side. Mercedes.
Hello, Lance.
I like the new set. We have a patriotic set. Oh, yeah. Try to burn that flag. All right. Let's start with, I want to start with video number 10. Jesse Walters is going to share with us his opening statement on the upcoming presidential debate. Watch this.
And debate prep might not be going very well because suddenly your handlers want to change the rules. They want Harris to be able to sit down at a table and want her to be able to bring notes. Now, if I was Kamala, I'd want to forget the last 4 years too. But she can't bring cheat sheets to a debate. Even Hillary didn't need to be sitting. Kamala also wants to unmute the mics. 2 weeks ago, Harris said the debate was over, and it was time for Trump to man up. Now she's throwing last-second curveballs, ripping up the rules. Is she trying to weasel her way out of this?
We agreed to the same rules. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it probably on, but the agreement was that it would be the same as it was last time. In that case, it was muted. I didn't like it the last time, but it worked out fine. I mean, ask Biden how it worked out. It was fine. And I think it should be the same. We agreed to the same rules. Same rules and same specifications. And I think that's probably what it should be. But they're trying to change it. The truth is they're trying to get out of it because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate.
Kamala wants the mics hot because she wants to be interrupted. Men don't look good when they interrupt women or argue with women. That's why I try not to interrupt Jessica so much on the 5. I try. And she'll probably snap back something sassy, and the media will package it that she won. The stakes are high because a debate would be the first time Democrats lose control over their anointed one. She's on her own for 90 minutes, live, in front of the whole country. No script, no notes, no Oprah, no Obama, no excuses. Kamala is going to have to defend the Biden record while explaining how she's different, defend her own record, and explain how that's changed and what it's changed into, defend her role in the cover-up in the coup, and at the same time attack Trump's record on the economy, immigration, and crime, which everybody knows is better. And she'll have to do it with joy in her first presidential debate against a guy who's done 6. Now you know why she needs to bring notes. You'd think you'd want to do some interviews first, test out some lines, see how you react when you're being challenged before you debate Trump cold. But apparently even that's too risky. The only way Kamala can win is if you don't know anything about her.
Why would you want to have a debate where you're sitting down? Everything the left does is done with witchcraft psychology, meaning how to manipulate the masses, subliminally, intentionally, or otherwise. By sitting, you don't have to compare the presidential stature of two people. Kamala looks weak when she stands. We've already seen her standing debate. She kind of fidgetingly waits. She's not comfortable there. But you've lowered the authority aura when you go from the podium where you're equals and they're looking at you. Which one of you looks more presidential? Well, obviously Trump's already been president. They may not like him, but he looks like a towering figure. And so they want to equalize them, put them both at the table. Now, when they're equal, you've reduced Trump down further. Now she wants to be able to interrupt him because she's going to goad him, because the idea is to throw little flamethrowers. Well, you just don't like women. You just don't like black people. You just got a problem with that. Throw in the flamethrowers so that you can get him off of his game and go tit for tat. Then he'll look bad attacking a woman, like Jesse said. Also, the notes. She handled herself well with Pence. I want to remind all of you, she's a lousy extemporaneous speaker. The danger for her is if he's asking her a question she has to respond to and didn't anticipate it and have her lawyer's notes in front of her. But she is coming from a legal background, and lawyers make their arguments. And, it's real funny. They sound smart when they're on the subject. Your goal is to get them off on the subject connected to the subject that reveals they're all scripted and have no substance. But this is all designed to make Trump look smaller, to put a frame around him and diminish his stature. And Trump's an adequate debater. He has his talking points. The challenge is Trump is great at communicating to the audience in simple ways. What's happening is they're letting out their prisons. They're letting out their insane asylums. It's a disgrace. Very simple. I mean, the strength of it is the average low information American goes, yeah, he's right. The problem is the left Kamala is so much more vulnerable than just pointing out the obvious gaffes of leftist policy. She's vulnerable at the point where she had recommended price controls. And then she walked it back. We want more things like that. We want the left to give her space to say, how exactly are you going to work that out where you're going to be giving to illegals, $25,000 worth of capital dollars each for them to be able to purchase residences with zero interest? How does that work? Who's paying for that? And then you're going to see her having to struggle for her notes. That's where she's vulnerable. And he's got to really be thinking in terms of how to probe and bring statistics out. You brought 15 million undocumented individuals in the United States. What's your vetting procedure for knowing whether or not they're terrorists? By the way, 300,000 children have been lost. Where do you think those children are, Kamala? Whose responsibility was that? You understand what I'm saying? If he doesn't have that level of specificity, then the opportunity is being missed. And that's part of what I'm going to be praying and watching. Mercedes, you have anything to add to that? I want to get Byron Daniels' thoughts on this as well.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I saw a commentary the other day that, not unlike marketing a product, they're employing this marketing strategy called a blank slate strategy with Kamala, right? Like, you knew Joe, like, let's get him out of there. He's polarizing. But with the blank slate marketing strategy, obviously Trump has very strong opinions. And so people, like, you read into it, if you're kind of an uninformed voter, you see Kamala a lot like how you see yourself, because she's a blank slate. So you read yourself onto her. So I agree with you. If Trump can really get her to take some polarizing stances, it really kind of diminishes her, like, I'm every woman. You should vote for me, first Black female president. And it removes a lot of that. So it was really fascinating. I forgot to send you that video, but you would like it, Lance.
I would like it. By the way, the person that perfected the blank slate strategy was Barack Obama. He literally said the reason why he won was he ran as someone you didn't know, and so you could write on the slate whatever it was you wanted to find.
Exactly.
And so Kamala doesn't have the luxury of being the unknown from California, because she has 4 years of the Biden, Harris, Soros, leftist, open borders, defund the police, crazy, cackling, giggling Marxist personality. You could do a makeover for the left, because they're going to love you no matter who you are, because they want their person in power. And listen, man, they got women dressed like men in the in the administration. So you can package whatever you want. They'll cheer. But the average American is going to be watching a little more closely to see if she's authentic. And her problem is you can only cackle and laugh so long. When you get serious, when you get into trying to attack another person's position, and when the mystique of this mystery joy is off of you, and you have to actually zero in and not sound petty and vicious, malicious, or Hillary Clinton-esque, it's going to be a different situation. And by the way, African-American men are not really as popular. Kamala's not as popular with them as she is with the women vote in general. That means if she comes off as snarky and like a lawyer trying to browbeat a guy, they won't look at it as black versus white. They're not even going to look at it as female versus male. They're going to look at it like they want a strong man, and they do not like to see men emasculated. And that's not going to play well. Byron Daniels, tell me about Kamala Harris and why is she changing the rules?
I do believe there's going to be a debate, but I would tell President Trump and his team to keep the same rules from the Joe Biden debate. And let me be very clear as to why. The reason why Kamala Harris wants to change the rules now to have open microphones is because she wants to interrupt Donald Trump. She wants to be able to create a spectacle out of this debate, which would prevent her from actually being forced to discuss public policy, discuss her positions in detail. She wants to create some sort of moment, some sort of YouTube spectacle that can be replayed so she can hide behind the debate as opposed to talking about the policies that impact the American people. She wants to be able to create this moment where she owns Donald Trump for 10 seconds. That's just ridiculous. It's not what matters in our country. Donald Trump has debated everybody from Hillary Clinton to Joe Biden, all points in between. He can definitely debate Kamala Harris, but it is in the interest of the American people that Kamala Harris is not allowed to make this debate a spectacle. It has to be about the issues facing America, because she has serious questions that she refuses to answer. And the way they're campaigning, the only way the American people will get a straight answer about her policy positions and the thought process behind them, and that's very important, the thought process behind them, is if she actually has a very clear debate with Donald Trump where both people have an opportunity to express themselves without being interrupted, whether it be by the moderators or by the opposing person. Kamala Harris wants a spectacle. She doesn't want a debate on issues. That's why she wants to change the rule.
You know, I met Byron Daniels down there with Mario Murillo when we were working at Grow Church in Florida. And he was there. His mom is a Holy Ghost prayer person.
Love it.
I love praying moms. See, ladies, pray for your young men and women. Well, I even pray for young little Mercedes over here. that one day she's going to be in Congress, sitting up there in Congress, and she will look back with great affection upon these days when her wise elder mentor was preparing her to be able to make her presentations. We ought to take a break right now, but we're going to be right back before Mercedes makes a comment. We'll be back.
America is under a spirit of delusion.
America has abandoned God.
Women are being used as pawns, which is exactly what the left does.
We had given the keys to our church to the government and said, government, you run this church. You make the decisions for me.
When we vacate the public square and leave that to chance, something fills the void.
When liberty hangs in the balance, and your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews come to you and they say, where were you when tyranny knocked on our door? What are you going to tell them?
What's it actually going to take? Seriously, what kind of trigger point will cause the church just to come out of this zombie stupor and say, okay, that's it, I've had it?
The church shouldn't be in a bunker waiting on the rapture, but ought to be invading the mountains of influence for the glory of God.
We have to save our nation. We have to save our children.
We don't have the luxury of disunity. I don't have to agree with you on everything. We need to fight for this nation together. Together.
Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the absence of allowing fear to dictate the outcome.
My job for all of you is to find the unfinished assignment, because America is too young to die.
Fighting for liberty and freedom is difficult. It is hard. Choose your heart.
Where the mothers will suddenly see and perceive the organized threat against their little boys and their little girls, and that they will rise up.
Because you've got a nation to save. You've got grandchildren to save.
This is for the states we're going to. It's for the souls that are coming in.
And this courage tour is so important because we must stand. We must move into the public square.
And I heard the Lord say this over you tonight. Oh, we say now, you haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. And just you wait. This is just the beginning.
Liberty and freedom are not free. Every veteran understands this. It requires a very significant level of sacrifice. What legacy are you willing to leave behind for the next generation?
Register today at thecouragetour.com. All seats are free.
Well, I want to give you some encouragement right now. Don Lemon has a new book that he's come out with. I don't know how he gets the airtime he's got. I don't know what's so interesting about Don Lemon, but he's there and he hides books and for people to discover, I guess. And then he has his camera there to catch people discovering the books he's hidden. Kind of like, what's that thing in Pokemon your kid would play, you know? And
yeah, you got to catch them all.
You have the little
Pokemon.
surprise gifts. Anyway, what he's doing now is he's going around evidently, and he's recording people's reactions as to who they're voting for. And he's surprised that he's not getting the reaction he thought he was going to get. Let's watch this clip right here. It'll encourage you.
How are you feeling about the election?
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to like make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Because?
Because it has to change.
Yeah.
It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she's phony and fake, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I'm like Trump saying, you know, what are you, you know? So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
And Mercedes introduced me to this segment here. Is this actually a sample of everything out there? I don't know, but it's interesting that he's playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't exactly what he's looking for.
No, this is just one clip. I've seen like 4 or 5 of them where he goes around and he's out, who are you voting for? And then he starts arguing with people and he's like, but that's not true. And they're like, no, actually it is true. So it's really, I think I should be encouraged. I think, Lance, if she wins, right? You remember when Biden won and he got the most votes, more votes than any other US president. And that's why Trump says it's got to be too big to rig. If everybody votes for Trump, if as many like just everyday normal Americans who are suffering under liberal, progressive, just awful policies, if we all rallied and voted for Trump, right? We see RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, all rallying around him. If we get this done, it's going to be too big to rig because she would have to get more votes than Donald Trump and then make that believable to everyday Americans like the ones we just saw.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but it's the 238 Bush, McCain, and Romney alums endorse Harris in an open letter. And it's an interesting kind of an article. I guess this is the American Conservative has the article on where I'm sure that's not where this was published. But what I was really upset about this, we were doing a Flashpoint Live the other night, newscast, and I'm hearing about it. And of course, I went off as predictable because to me, they have a picture of Romney and McCain. But I mean, McCain's dead. How could he have written this letter? See what I mean about how media is manipulating you? But here's what the truth is. A guy texts me. He said, Lance, I checked out the 238 Bush, McCain, Romney endorsements, and they weren't Bush, McCain, and Romney. They were 43 low-level staffers of various 200 some odd low-level staffers, including 43 to 45 of them were Democrats to begin with. In other words, these are career underlings that are the interns that are in the administrations that are Democrats or that are Republican rhino class people that are never Trumper, deep state people, but they're not serious leaders. It's like going and saying 243 people work in the cafeteria, just endorse me. But it caught me off guard because I thought these were big leaders. They were. You see, you got to check out the news. I had something. Oh, Vindman. This guy annoys me. Now, I shouldn't be annoyed by people, but there's some people you just look at them and they bother you. And Vindman is one of them. He's the guy with the sanctimonious, full-dress blues appearance to show up in Washington and expose Donald Trump's betrayal of America in his call to Zelensky. And what was the call for? Burisma Holdings evidently had some weird Bobolinsky evidence of money paid to Hunter Biden by manipulating a business deal while he was using the president's name as a backdrop to get a deal done for getting millions of dollars into the family and interfering with the election or interfering with a trial that was going to take Burisma and expose it. But Biden went over there and swaggered over and said, you either are going to fire that prosecutor or you're not getting $1 billion of U.S. aid. He's very proud of that and blustered about it. Trump said, hey, look into that, will you, Zelensky, and see if there's any truth to that. Vindman felt that was a betrayal of the United States. But in fact, as we're finding out, the laptop was valid and Hunter has been doing, but not that you're ever going to see anything come out of it. Oh, no, nothing's going to come out of that. Why? Because the machinery in Washington is designed for a different purpose. If they ever go after Biden for making money or his kids making money off of him being in Washington, they're all going to get exposed. He was actually working with, who was the guy? He was working with, who's the guy in charge of the environmental thing there, ran for president? Kerry. Kerry's son and Hunter were business partners, and he saw Hunter was putting too much coke up his nose and said, I think it's a day. He backed out. But all the kids make money off their parents' name. I think my son would make money off my name if he was in Washington. None of them want to take it to court. Anyway, Vindman says Musk should be nervous. After he tried to impeach the president, now he's coming out all sanctimonious again with his uniform. Musk should be nervous because the Telegram CEO was arrested. For what? For not working with the intelligence community and monitoring the speech and turning over information, just like they wanted to do with Musk, they wanted to do with Musk. And in Brazil, they're silencing him and they want information and data. They want the tech companies to censor and expose your conversation. Why? Because the government must control the media, and the government must control the church, and the government must control the currency. You're dealing with this end-time antichrist volcano ready to go off with a one-world government, but thank God for the people like Musk that aren't nervous. But the Telegram CEO was arrested in France. Why was he arrested? He was arrested in France. Yeah, here's the guy. I hope you guys show this picture in post. Put him up there. Can't stand these sanctimonious deep state. You just see they're like a character out of central casting for a movie. Musk writes, dangerous times when CEOs are arrested and imprisoned, or Donald Trump type personalities trying to run for office are arrested and imprisoned because they're not cooperating with the Marxist state. We need to protect free speech like never before, RFK Jr. wrote on X. Burns me up when I read that. Any comments on that, young lady? Only got 1 minute, 51 seconds.
Yep. I mean, I just saw the joke earlier that he's like, Trump is single-handedly assembling his own political Avengers. I mean, you've got, like you're saying, Elon, he's Tony Stark, and RFK Jr., you know, I don't know who he is, who the Time guy is. There's all the men are probably slowly dying at home, the one that does all this, and Tulsi Gabbard. It's good. It's going to be great. We're going to save America.
By the way, Mexico freezes relations with the United States. Canadian embassies, which criticize judicial reform. Have you seen? It's so funny. Mexico, who is run by the cartels. Brazil, who has a leftist guy, Lula, who actually stole the election for Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro is trying to put him in jail like they're trying to put Trump in jail. What is that with these guys? And then they've got the Supreme Court, just like Biden is letting people know that when Harris gets in, the number one agenda for the left is the only thing they don't have control of once they get the executive branch is that dang court. If they could only legislate and litigate and put laws through the court, they could take your guns, they could take your property, they could take your speech. They just got to get the court. And they want to pack the court. Well, they did it in Brazil. And now Twitter is being taken out of Brazil because he refuses, like Telegram. These CEOs are refusing to give up the private information communication for prosecution purposes to the left. And then Mexico, about as corrupt as they come. We know the cartels are controlling the millions coming into the United States. You got to pay the cartels to get in here. You telling me there aren't people in the intelligence community taking a little bit of money on the side for this deal? I'm going to land the plane right here. I'm going to tell you something. I see it. I say it. God sees it. You keep praying. You keep believing. You keep caring. And you're going to see God do what he's going to do, because the Bible says to pray this prayer. Father, I pray thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. God wants to see a manifestation of his people and his will. See you again next week. You don't want to miss any of these broadcasts. God bless you.
You ask and we listen. We're finally bringing the most requested offer ever. Get the queen size premium MyPillow, now only $19.98. MyPillow is made with patented adjustable fill. It adjusts to your exact individual needs regardless of your sleep position. It helps keep your neck aligned and holds its shape all night long so you get the best sleep of your life. But that's not all. Get our 6-piece kitchen or bath towel sets, only $25. Our brand new mattress topper as low as $69.98. Get our famous MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $25, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get huge discounts on all MyPillow products, including the premium queen-size MyPillow, only $19.98. That's the lowest price ever. Don't delay, order today. From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
Go to mypillow.com and use promo code Lance to save big on all of Mike's best products. That's promo code Lance. Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate the world.